Welcome. Today I'm going to provide you with some travel tips, which hopefully will assist you and your family. The topics we'll cover today will include before you plan your trip, some tips, your phone strategy before leaving your home, whether to use a SIM card or an eSIM card if you're traveling outside of the country, some car rental tips, device charging tips, hotel strategies, your car keys if you are doing a road trip, AirTags, and more AirTags, and of course, photo sharing. Let's start off with we are planning a trip. And for many of you, you've already planned your trip, but let's say you're looking at a last minute trip. As I'm planning trips, I like to use one of two web browsers, either Brave browser or Firefox. And by the way, if you like Google Chrome, which I'm not a personal fan of, but if you like Google Chrome, you are going to love Brave. It's based off the Chromium Foundation, but has so much more privacy enhancements to it, ad blockers, tracker blockers, a whole bunch of things. So number one, I want to use a good web browser. Now, when we're doing our searching, I would encourage you to use a VPN, a virtual private network. I do not promote VPNs, but I get asked all the time. And so I'm sharing with you on screen my three favorite VPNs, which are Nord, Viper, and Proton. Good VPNs cost money. On average, $40, $50 a year. Free VPNs are not good. They come at a cost. Nothing is free without data being compromised. Now, why use a VPN? Many reasons. But the one that I like that sticks out the most has to do with when you are looking up a price, for example, on airfare, hotels, or car rentals. Depending where you are looking up that price from, can alter in terms of the price. Meaning, if you reside in Canada and you're planning a trip within Canada, you may get a certain price. But if you use a VPN and you appear to be coming from, let's say, Iceland, you may get a different price. I don't know why that is, but trust me, I've done it many times, and you are able to save money doing that. This is important to remember that when you are looking at pricing from a different country, please confirm the currency, because by default, if you are within Canada or the United States and you're searching domestically, the websites that you're looking to pay should default to the currency of your country. Logical, correct? But now you're using a VPN. So you might be rerouting to another part of the world. It may default to that currency. And you might know that the currency might be that of the euro or of another country. But in North America, you're just going to get a dollar amount. So please confirm it's either Canadian dollars or US dollars. So that's your first travel tip. Now, before you leave home, please back up your phone. I want you to back up every picture, photo, document, contact, back it up, keep it in a secure place at home. Do not travel with your smartphone that has all your personal sensitive data on it. There are high probabilities that phones would get lost or stolen, and when your phone is in the hands of a complete stranger, the anxiety you are going to suffer is unlike anything you've ever experienced before, because you're thinking, am I ever going to get it back? Perhaps identity theft. So I want you to back up everything, remove everything you've backed up, and most importantly, let's reassess our passwords. Do we have a simple password? Is it a simple 4-digit password? That has to change. At very least, especially for iPhone users, I want you to have at minimum 7 digits. I would prefer a combination of numbers and letters, but at the very least, let's go with 7 digits. So before you leave, change your password, memorize it. And very important for iPhone users, make sure you have access to Find My iPhone. If you are an Android users, you're familiar with ADM, Android Device Manager, or now Find My Device. And that feature is just like Find My iPhone. In case it does go missing, if you can log in securely to a computer, into your various accounts, you may be able to pinpoint your phone. So we're going to change the password. We're going to make it incredibly strong, and we're going to make sure that on an iPhone, Find My iPhone is active. On Android devices, ADM, Android Device Manager, or Find My Device. You're traveling outside of your country. You know as well as I do, if you are a Canadian, we pay one of the highest rates in the world for access to cellular communication. I mean, it is ridiculous what we pay in Canada. So if you're a Canadian listening to this and you're traveling to the United States, you will know that your roaming charge could be anywhere from $12 to $15 per day, which gives you full access to what you have back home, except when you're gone for a week, that becomes a little ridiculous. So my strategies have always been get a physical SIM card in the country of your destination. And so you do homework online, you plan out what a SIM card will cost in the country that you'll be visiting and look for plans. So when you leave the country, you go into airplane mode. So when you land in the destination country, you're not going to incur the data for that one day. Insert the new SIM card. Now take the old SIM card out, and what I would do is I would bring a zippy bag with me, a Ziploc bag, to put the SIM card in because you want to make sure you can find it because SIM cards are really small. So put in a large Ziploc bag and put it in your backpack. Now with the new SIM card, pop it in. Make sure you have data, and make sure you have phone access. But if you don't need phone access, I would consider getting an eSIM card. Now this is not for everybody. Okay, an eSIM card is only for specific phone manufacturers. And I'm just going to go with iPhone. I believe it's iPhone 13, 14, and 15 will accept an eSIM card. An eSIM card is incredibly, incredibly affordable. Way more affordable than a physical SIM card. And I would encourage you to look at the eSIM card options, especially if you're traveling around the world. North America, there could be benefits, but if you're traveling to remote places around the world, an eSIM card could have tremendous value and a lot of data associated with it. When you're renting a car, please avoid pairing your phone with the car. I'm sure you've seen this on my Facebook page. When I go into a brand new into my new car rental, the first thing I do is look at, well, who's been here before? And the recent car rental that I had last week, actually, it had the person's full first name and last name. This can lead to identity theft issues. I'm going to ask you, please avoid pairing. But if you must pair, when you leave the car rental, go into your settings and scrub everything that was there. Now, why do most people pair their phones? Well, they paired for maps, they paired for music. I prefer not to. I just get a cell phone holder, smartphone holder. I attach it to the vehicle. I put my phone there. I don't need to pair it up. But if you do, please make sure you scrub the data. You're going to want to charge your phones in cars, in hotels. You need to get a data blocker because most of your cables, which you are using to charge, actually transfer data at the same time. You absolutely do not want to use a cable that transfers data along with charging your phone. So all you need to do is go to Amazon, find a simple data blocker like those over there, 4 packs. They're really inexpensive, and you will use those for plugging into your car, plugging in anywhere that requires a phone charger. Now, you can still bring that little brick with you so you can plug it into a traditional electrical outlet, which I would suggest, but obviously in a vehicle, they're not there. So you're going to want a data blocker. But last week, as I was traveling, I had a vehicle that was brand new. It did not have a traditional USB charger. It had a USB-C charger. So what I have in my collection are these little USB to USB-C converters. So now I was able to take my cable, plug it in to one of these devices, plug it into the car, get a charge on my smartphone, again, without transferring data. And by the way, if you're a Mac user and some of my technology is Mac, all the new Macs are out there, all USB-C, you absolutely need these to convert a lot of your existing cables with USB-C. So another great buy that you can pick up, again, online at any electrical store. When you're charging in hotels, cafes, airports, those data blockers are critically important. You never ever want to plug into a USB charging port, not knowing if data is being transferred to someone is capturing it. So please take that really seriously. Again, the way you can avoid it though is by bringing your little brick where you normally charge, but of course they're not available in cars. When you are checking into hotels, I have a 2 credit card strategy. This is important. Number one, just in case something happens to the first credit card. But number two, and this was an interesting scenario that occurred with me personally, because over the past 2 weeks, I've been living out of hotels. So I have a low limit credit card that I carry as a backup. It has $1,500 max on it. And I use that credit card when checking into. So most of my hotels are prepaid. I prepay them online to get my discount. But when you get to a hotel, they're going to ask you for a security deposit. And this can vary in any hotel. And I find this fascinating. The nicer the hotel, the lesser the security deposit. I find the medium grade hotels, well, they want a higher security deposit. I have no idea why. I'm not here to debate it or ask why, but it is what it is. So here's a recent trip. I was in 4 hotels in 4 nights. The first night, they wanted $250 security deposit. The next night was only 50. It was a nicer hotel. The third night was 100. The fourth night, I stayed at the same hotel I stayed at the first night. So again, I had to provide another $250 deposit. So a total in 4 days of $650 being held on this credit card. Now, if you travel with one credit card and you don't have that high of a limit, this could eat up a lot of space because it takes on average for 3 to 5 business days for that money to come back in. Because when you check out of the hotel, you know what they say? We've released your funds right away. And they actually have. But by the time it gets through the system, it can take a long time. So that second credit card is what I use strictly for hotels. If I'm doing a lot of traveling to multiple cities, multiple hotels, that's what I use for my hotel deposit. My primary card, which I used to pay for it, still has its available credit on there. So that secondary card is an added peace of mind for me. You're going to get 2 types of cards in hotels. You're going to get a swipe card. It has a little magnetic stripe. Or you're going to get an RFID. The swipe cards, they're safe. The RFID cards, well, I would encourage you to get an RFID protector. You know, I walk into a lot of hotels. You look at the breakfast buffet, and people are walking around. They keep their RFID card on the table. Maybe the kids will be sitting there. It's so easy to walk by and literally pick up the signal on that RFID card, clone it, and then, of course, follow the individual back to the room, figure out where they're staying. When they leave, you've got a clone of a card because buying the readers and writers and bulk cards is incredibly inexpensive. So if you're at a hotel that's going to provide you with an RFID card, basically it's a card that you tap on your door and opens up. Please invest in really, really inexpensive RFID protectors. It's definitely worth it. Lots of stories to share, but we're going to make this scenario really, really quick. Public Wi-Fi. If you must use public Wi-Fi at airports, hotels, anywhere, we're going to go back to getting a VPN, a virtual private network. Please do not log into public Wi-Fi networks without a VPN, especially if you're doing emails of a personal or business nature, any form of financial transaction. You should not be shopping while you're away on vacation. You should be relaxing, but let's say you're not using public Wi-Fi to do this. When you use public Wi-Fi, please make sure you're using a VPN. Again, my favorite are Nord, Viper, Proton. As soon as you connect to Wi-Fi, you click the connection for your VPN, and at least you have better peace of mind when transmitting anything sensitive in terms of perhaps, again, email. It could be a video conference. It could be transferring of files. So please, when using public Wi-Fi, use a VPN. All right. If you are traveling with your car or a rental car, you know as well as I do, car thefts are at an all-time high. And what the thieves are looking for, they're looking for your fobs. They're looking basically to try and start your car remotely because your car fob is near the door of your home. But what no one is talking about is how when you're traveling and you're at a low-rise hotel, for example, maybe it's 1, 2, 3 stories. I'm sorry, I've just gone ahead of myself there. It's easy to grab the signal from your room to the car that they're looking to steal. So number one, if you can get a Faraday pouch, please do so. Again, they're relatively inexpensive, and make sure your key fobs are always in there. But let's say you don't. I don't encourage you to park your car. Let's say you're at a motel or a low-rise hotel, 2, 3 levels high. You can still grab the signal if your car is parked in front of your room. And people do have a habit of, I'm going to check into this room. I want to look out the window, see my car is there. Well, I have a different strategy. I park my car on the opposite side of the hotel. Why? Because I look for security. So I like to try and keep it at the front of the hotel, number one. But number two, if I did park it in front of my room directly, there's an easier chance, if I don't have a Faraday pouch, that someone could grab the signal and start my car. So number one, get the pouch. Number two, try not to park your car or your rental car, because I think you're going to have a hard time filing a claim when your rental car is stolen. Try not to park that car near your room specifically. Just a little tip I've learned over a few years. AirTags. If you're an iUser, you absolutely must have AirTags. Grab a 4-pack. They're more cost effective. So when I travel, I have an AirTag in my luggage. When I'm traveling in a rental car or my personal car, and I always have AirTags in my cars. And of course, even on your carry-on, because you never know if you're going to misplace your carry-on. When you are using an AirTag, please don't put your first name and last name. Just come up with a unique name that you know belongs to you and you can identify it. You don't want to give away personal information on an AirTag. I shared with my followers on Facebook how I like to follow my luggage as I'm traveling. So one year I was traveling from the city of Toronto to the city of Miami. I knew where my luggage was when it was getting on the plane. When I landed, I knew where it was in the terminal, and it was so easy to figure out that our luggage actually made it to Miami and that it was about to come out. So this is incredibly, and people might say, well, how's that possible? Because remember, the majority are walking around with iPhones and iDevices, and AirTags work of that platform. So if your luggage goes lost in the woods, and I know it's not going to happen, just giving you a hypothetical, you're not going to find your luggage because there are no iPhones attached to trees in the forest. But when you're using it in a populated area where a lot of people are walking around with iDevices, AirTags can be amazing. If you must stream while you're on vacation, and I would hope you take some time for yourself, but if you must stream, please log off Netflix, Disney, Amazon. This is a screenshot from a hotel that I checked into. It was in the province of Alberta, where I was tired. I didn't want to turn on my computer. I was just scrolling through the television, and I found that someone had logged in to their account, and I had all the profiles on there. And to order something and charge it to their account would have been simple. Of course, I did not do that, and I was courteous to log them off. But please don't log in and then check out of your hotel and stay logged in, because when you check out of your hotel, you don't get logged off by default. So please, that's just a little bonus. And finally, I'm saying this with all sincerity, and I've been saying it ever since you've been following me. Please do not post pictures and updates while away in real time. I have a saying I live by. Tell the world where you've been, what you've done, not where you're going, what you're doing. We're not a reality TV show. Come back from vacation, upload a few select pictures, but please, while you're away, stay away, enjoy your family, enjoy your downtime. Take those pictures that are meaningful when you come back. Be selective of a few of those photos, upload them in your private accounts, but please don't post pictures while you are traveling and at a function in real time. And as we wrap up and wish you happy travels, I'm going to give you one last tip. And I found this on Facebook, so, props to Facebook. I don't know if you know what this is over here, but this little contraption here, which opens up, allows you to pop in some aspirin or perhaps other medication that might be required in an urgent matter. And the way they were marketing this was, as you get older and maybe perhaps have heart issues, prone to heart attacks, keeping these aspirins accessible on your keychain, on your luggage, on your backpack, well, it could help save a life. So I thought I'd promote that as well, because ever since I saw it, I now have one on my computer bag, I have one on my keychain, of course, I have one in my car. So that for the elderly could be incredibly beneficial. So happy travels. If you wish to keep up with me, you know the places to do so. On my Facebook page. Instagram is just for pictures. X, not really a lot of data I post on there. And now my videos on my YouTube channel. I'll always keep you guys updated on my Facebook page. Happy travels. I hope this has assisted you. And if it did assist you, please do share the video with all. Thank you, everyone.